Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Tsukishima Kei ex-listener. This one is titled I Know, and yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Tsukishima! Thought of ignoring Hinata crossed his mind, but considering how much energy the short sack had, it was unlikely that he would give up. He stopped walking and craned his neck back to look at the red-haired boy. What? He saw Hinata slowing down, followed closely by Kageyama. The small boy nudged the other. You say it, Hinata insisted. No, you do it. You're the one who said you're not scared of asking him. Yamaguchi snickered while Tsukishima felt something of a smile creeping up onto his own face. He knew exactly what they were going to ask. Exams were coming up, and where he excelled, they failed. Hurry up, I don't have all day, he said, turning around as if though he was going to walk away. Well, your girlfriend speaks English, right? Tsukishima stiffened. She's not my girlfriend. Well, can I have her number then? Yamaguchi chokes on his own spit, sending him into a coughing fit that his eyes got wet with moisture as tears were welling up inside. He watched in shock as Tsukishima turned around to face the other two first-years. Idiot, chastised Kageyama. You can't just ask another man for his girlfriend's phone number. And just like that, the duo erupted into another fight. She's not... Kei stopped, feeling heat spread all the way to the tip of his ears. He had to remain composed. That being said, what did Hinata want? He gritted his teeth together. Why do you want her number? Yamaguchi asked, sensing the need to help his friend. Well, we need help in English, so we wanted to ask if she would tutor us. Hinata's face was earnest enough to convince Kei that he was telling the truth. So why did he still feel so on edge? He ended up shrugging, not to much to the surprise of everyone. Ask her yourself. He began to walk away, feeling his own stomach churn. She's meeting up with us after practice, he heard Yamaguchi say to the both of them. I need help in English too, he admitted sheepishly. Kei kept walking, his fists clenched tightly as he did. Time skip. Tsukishima was uncharacteristically nervous. He walked slowly behind the trio, with his eyes darting to his not-girlfriend. Tsuki! Yama! Kei's heart began to beat a little faster. The group turned around and Yu slowed, hesitating as he saw Hinata and Kageyama. Yu smiled shyly, and Kei could see you fiddling with the buttons on your dark blue cardigan. He knew it was just a school uniform, but he loved the way the blue looked against your skin. Hello, he said, unsure of how to proceed. Tsukishima knew that he would step in and say something, but he felt deflated, almost frozen. Hey, Yamaguchi stepped in, feeling the overwhelming need to help his dear friend. This is Kageyama and this is Hinata. They're on the volleyball team with us. Tsukishima watched as you offered to shake their hands, and his teammates took your hand gingerly. We have something to ask you, Kageyama said in a serious tone. You blinked at him and then glanced at Kei, a flash of confusion washing over your features. He wanted to squeeze your hand, but he just ended up rolling his eyes instead. Your face was a mask of surprise as you watched the two boys bow to you. Could you please tutor us in English? Don't feel pressure to say yes, Kei said, finally finding his voice. He took a small step forward so that he loomed over your shoulder, at the duo who could feel his cold glare. Me too, Yamaguchi piped up, hoping that his presence would make his friend feel a little bit better. I'd be happy to help, he said, looking relieved at the question. You flushed when the two boys thanked you enthusiastically. It's really no big deal, you insisted. I help Yamzet all the time. You patted Yamaguchi's shoulder in apology, but he just laughed bashfully in agreement. Tsukishima, will you come too? Hinata asked, his brown eyes bright in the setting sunlight. You laughed. Suki doesn't need any help. If he tutors me and stuff. Or, he doesn't need any help if he tutors me and stuff. A flood of pride washed over the tall boy, but he remained his stone face. I'll come, he said. He said offhand, gaining a raised eyebrow from you, but he refused to expand. Yamaguchi only smirked. Time skip. You're so lucky you already know English, Hinata complained, pouting as he looked over the mini test that you had just marked for him. Don't be so disheartened, you said gently, resisting the urge to pat his head. Hinata, it seemed, was just like a puppy, full of energy and happiest when he could run around. His big brown eyes peeked up at you. How could you get that wrong? Tsukishima asked. You literally just understood the concept like 2 seconds ago. It's harder in test form, Hinata complained, slumping down onto your small table. Even I got that one right, Kageyama boasted. Huh? But you literally got number 2 wrong, and that was the easiest one. You both got way too many wrong, Tsukishima chided coldly. What's it like to share a single brain cell? Suki, you groaned, sharing a look at Yamaguchi. The two of you both knew how harsh Tsukishima could be. You stood up, brushing your hands down on the pleats of your plaid skirt. I'm gonna go make us some tea and snacks, okay? Take a 5-minute break, guys. Do you need help? Yamaguchi interrupted Hinata's question clumsily. Sorry, Hinata, but I think she should use Suki's help. I think I might be able to help you with question 4 if you explain number 5 to me. Kei raised an eyebrow at his friend. At his friend's subtle wink, unsure of what he was trying to tell him to do. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Kageyama, make sure you write this down, alright? I know. You smiled to yourself, walking to the kitchen with Kei on your heels. They're a rowdy bunch, you said, pulling out some biscuits. Kei, who was already acquainted with your house, pulled out some cups and plates. You're too hard on them, though. They don't learn otherwise. You nudged at him playfully. Why are you here, then? They sought out my professional skills, didn't they? Kei's lips tugged upwards. Someone has to keep all of you in line. And that's you? Clearly. He poured the hot water into the teapot with a practiced hand. He looked at you through the steam of the tea as the tea steeped, and you caught the tail end of his gaze. He looked away quickly, feeling his ears pricking with heat and his glasses beginning to seam. He put his tea down on the table. Here. You stood up on the tip of your toes, prompting him to lean down enough for you to take his glasses. He couldn't see you entirely, but he could make out you wiping the condensation off of his lenses with the corner of your skirt. Tsukishima gripped the countertop, feeling a heady sensation overwhelming him. He always felt that when he was around you, a swirling dizziness and warmth that made him weak and yearning to touch you. In the past, a simple brush of his hand against yours he could pass off as simply an accident, and that was enough to sedate this feeling. Lately, however, he struggled to be satisfied with that. The little, quiet moment between the two of you in your kitchen suddenly felt like something more significant than just a snack run. When you handed him his glasses back, his hand lingered over yours, reveling in the softness of your skin. He wondered idly if he was wrong in assuming he was coming down with a fever, or maybe experiencing some kind of allergic reaction. Maybe there was some stock in what Yamaguchi had said to him many an evening after practice. He had been quick to dismiss it, but lately he had started mulling over a new notion with interest, much to the exasperation of Yamaguchi. Suki, you murmured, looking at him through your eyelashes. Unbeknownst to him, you felt the exact same way. He had often wondered, sometimes aloud to Yamaguchi, if he liked you back. Kei had a tendency to be very soft in a rare moment where it was just the two of you, but then switch completely as soon as someone else stepped into the room. Yamaguchi had sighed deeply when you asked him about this. He's clearly in love with you. That statement had surprised you, but you brushed it off, claiming that Yamaguchi was being dramatic. Tsukishima blew hot and cold, so much that the idea of him being in love was just inconceivable. There were times where you had thought that he was trying to make a move. His actions were so deliberate, and they came into such close contact with you that your breath would hitch in anticipation. But then he'd reach for a book near you, or he'd utter a detached, sorry, when his hand swept past your own, and you just exhale in disappointment. You're in love with him too, Yamaguchi would insist, pinching the space between his eyes. How can two smart people be so dumb? The sound of the door opening made you jump, and Tsukishima turned away from you to put on his glasses. Hey, where's the toilet? Kageyama asked. Under normal circumstances, he would have laughed over how you would have laughed at how overt the black-haired boy was, but now you were just feeling breathless and cold. The door to your left, there. In a flash, Tsukishima had taken away the tray with the teapot and cups off the counter, without so much as a glance at you. He had walked away, and you stood there for a couple of moments, feeling equal parts dejected and confused at what had just transpired. You looked down at your own hands, holding them up so you can inspect them. Unremarkably, they were the same as always. The feeling of his hands and your own were gone now. The phantom memory had faded with them too. You could have cried. You distracted yourself by taking out some strawberry pocky you remembered that you had, adding it to this plate of sweet treats. You had headed back, feeling the nerves fluttering in your stomach as you reached the door. I hope these are okay, you blurted out, trying to cover up how long it had taken you to get them. Hinata's eyes shone as he regarded at the array. He had sprang up to thank you, which made you laugh. You were grateful to the small boy for taking some attention off of you, though you could still feel Yamaguchi's stare penetrating into your side. Despite his shy demeanor, he was no fool. The study session resumed, with Tsukishima remaining quiet throughout the whole thing, unless it was to scoff occasionally at his teammates. He didn't look at you once. He forced himself to instead focus on your three students, who all needed help and your attention. It became much easier to forget that Kei had removed himself from the group, and was leaning against your bed, reading through the chapter of his modern Japanese textbook. You're a really good teacher, Hinata said. I think I actually understand the difference between verbs and, adverbs? He smiled when you had nodded encouragingly. Thank you. Your notes are... Yes. Oh, that's the wrong voice, sorry. Yes, thank you. Your notes are very... neat, Kageyama offered, obviously unused to this kind of situation. You must be pretty good, or you must be pretty bad at talking to girls. Hinata laughed, annoying Kageyama instantly. You shook your head, looking over at Yamaguchi, who was pointing something out on Kei's textbook. His eyes met yours, and he came over to you. Thank you again for your help today, he said, putting the book down next to you. I think I'll actually manage to get a good grade this time. Of course you will, Yams, you said. I know you're going to step into that exam tomorrow and show that English test who's boss. You showed the boys outdoors, asserting that you were happy to help them out any time. If they ever wanted, they could just text you with any questions that they had. The orange of the sunset cast a warm glow on the boys. Even though you didn't know where you stood with Tsukishima, you couldn't help but shyly admire how good he looked in this lighting. Suki, did you remember your modern Japanese textbook? Yamaguchi asked suddenly, looking through his own bag in case he might have took it. I thought you had it. I thought you took your book back. No, it's okay. I can go grab it, he said, turning to go back. No, Yamaguchi said, in an uncharacteristically loud way. Suki, be a gentleman and go get your own book, he scoffed. Our wonderful teacher has done enough for us today. The least you could do is go get your own book. Kei frowned, opening his mouth in retorts, only to be cut off by Yamaguchi again. Come on, guys, it's getting late. He put his arm around the two boys, pushing them to walk away. They were confused but didn't argue with their teammate. Tadashi looked over his shoulder to wink at the couple, who were dumbfounded by whatever just took place. I don't know what goes through his head sometimes, Tsukishima said with a sigh, following behind you as you walked to your own room. You had found the book easily, looking away at the dishware you had yet to clear. Kei held out his own hand to take his book back, but you stepped away. Before I give this back, you said, feeling confident until you looked him in the eyes. What was that? In the kitchen. What in the kitchen? He frowned in frustration. You know what? You were holding my hand and I wasn't. Please, just tell me. I can't do this anymore. You hugged the book to your chest, feeling your heart race. Tsukishima felt his own face flush again. He could have held your hands again, if he could, he would have held your hands again, but he would have been too busy noticing the way Then he would have... If he could have held your own hands again, he would have, but you were too busy clutching his book. He placed a hand on your shoulder, but quickly took it off because it just didn't feel right. "I'm sorry," he said quietly, his hands cupping your own warm cheek, prompting you to look up at him. His expression was one that you hadn't seen before. It was tender. "You're not fair," you mumbled. "I was annoyed. I know. Confused. I know. And sad." His voice faltered a little here. I know. "I like you, Tsukishima." He felt his thumb caress your cheek. "I know." You cocked your eyebrow at him. "No, I mean like, I love you." He smirked. "Yeah, I just said I know." You frowned again, opening your mouth to protest, but his his thumb traveled down to press against your plump bottom lip. He leaned down, exulting in the chance to be much closer to you. His hand traversed down your chin, lifting it up higher so he had a better angle. He had never done this before, but he acted on instinct, tilting his head slightly and pressing his lips against your own gently. He drew back slowly, monitoring your face for a reaction. He didn't account for the book that was still in your arms, which you had dropped, landing on his foot. You laughed. "I'm sorry, I forgot I was holding that." "You're lucky I love you," he muttered, feigning annoyance even though he was very close to you. He eventually gave into your laughter, enjoying your smile and the way the dying lights painted you in gold. This much he knew. Oh my god. That was so cute. That was adorable. I really like that. I wanted to say, guys, I am so sorry for not posting for like 4 days. I got in trouble for not doing my schoolwork. You know, freshman in high school, I have a lot of assignments, and I didn't do any of them. I had like 30 missing assignments, and I actually just finished them today, so that means I can go back to posting. Yay. And also, I had a question I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to be live streaming for my 5K special because I hit 5K while I was gone. That's insane. Thank you guys so much. Anyways, I'm only going to be posting one video today because I'm going to be doing a live stream for like however long. I don't know how long it's going to be. Anyways, if you guys want to join that, make sure you do. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And if you did, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you're notified every single time I post a video. And also like the video because that is something for you to do. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.